All right, guys. So welcome to another episode of the Over Gymcast, and today here we have a special guest, Mr. Danie Dharma. So how are you?
Hello guys, how's everybody? I'm good over here.
We're good. We're
Pretty
good.
good, pretty good.
So
Yeah.
this is Dinesh, and myself. My name is Avinash. So this is still something new that we're doing. So it's like a bodybuilding podcast. It's for all aspects of fitness as well. So we're actually really grateful that you are able to take time off to come here and join us in this show slash podcast or whatever we call it. Yeah. So we have a lot of questions, and we'll try not to be repetitive. Okay, so we'll jump right to the questions. Is that all right?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
All
Let's
right.
do this.
So the first question that we have for you today is, a lot of people are aware, sir, about your journey from bodybuilding, like why you became who you are and why you started bodybuilding. I'm pretty sure you have explained a lot about that on your stories as well as your posts on Instagram. Am I right?
Okay, yeah.
So I
I
want
think I
to ask.
remember seeing an episode on TV as well about
Really?
your story about why you started bodybuilding and whatnot. Yeah. I think that was the very first time I actually came across your name in the fitness industry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've been featured on TV a bunch of times. Vasantham, the earlier stages was Vasantham. Then later part I was also on Channel News Asia. But pretty much the same thing lah. They covered my story, but from a different perspective.
Okay. So, all right. So the first question is, at what age did you actually start bodybuilding, and why did you decide that this is something that you wanted to pursue professionally?
Okay, I started at 15 years old.
Oh, okay.
So you guys know the story lah. I was very skinny. Pure ectomorph. So was being beaten up, bullied, and all that. There's also another part to that story lah. Because when
Okay.
I was like 6 or 7, I was watching I can't remember if it's Predator or Commando. Arnold movie lah.
Oh,
Watching with my dad,
okay.
my dad told me, okay, this Arnold is a bodybuilder.
Mm.
So at that age, right, I was looking and I was like, okay, the adult version of me, I'm also going to be a bodybuilder. So at that age itself, I already decided that's what I want to do. So at 15, when my life's events brought me towards that direction, and then it just came full circle lah. And actually, I cannot call myself a professional bodybuilder because I have not won an IFBB Pro card, so I'm still an amateur. Because some people saw me winning my category at the World Regional Championships in 2018, right? They thought I won Pro card that day, but I didn't cross. I didn't win my category. Yeah,
I
so I'm
see.
not a pro bodybuilder, but I hope to be one day.
All right. Have you
I
ever?
think.
Sorry. So can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, Ken.
Okay. Yeah. So, sorry, you were saying. Sorry to cut you short.
Saying that I think winning a pro card is within striking distance for me, because during my two regional shows, right, I beat the two guys who are the runner of my category subsequently won a pro card
Oh, okay.
like the months later and stuff. So I know that winning a pro card is within striking distance for me, but need to see which show. It really depends on who shows up and how they show up on the day. Yeah. And right now the current situation, I think flying and competing is very unlikely. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
So
rationally
you do
speaking, sorry, Dinesh, you go first.
yeah, so you do have plans to actually, get a pro card and finally, do this uh, as a lifetime thing.
Yeah, of course, of course. Because here's the thing, you win your pro card, right? Your journey doesn't end there, and
Correct.
you might not even make money from bodybuilding at that point of time. You might have to win a pro show. Then the bigger sponsors were coming around that point. Even then, you don't know if they are going to come or not. So it's a long journey, lah.
All right. So rationally speaking, how long do you think it would take for you to, turn pro?
Sorry, say that again.
So rationally speaking, how long do you think it would take for you to turn pro?
To be honest, right, anytime I think I could do it, I'm not saying I'm like so damn good, but if I nail my condition, I show up for my next show, and the people who came were not too competitive. I will have a high chance of winning.
I see. I see. So are you eyeing for any other show like overseas, considering that this whole COVID thing, most probably in Singapore, we're not going to have any shows anytime soon. So are you looking at any other shows elsewhere?
Okay, right now, right, I'm thinking of just continue improving as much as I can. So when I compete again the next time, I'll be so much better for it.
I see. Okay, that's great. All right. So have you always been an active individual? Have you played any like sports in secondary school or anything? Or was your first attempt at anything physical like straight away at the gym?
I don't know. I was actually I was a hockey player and I was a track
Okay.
and field guy in secondary school.
Mm.
Because I was so skinny, right? I was actually genetically gifted for mid distance running.
Meaning, yeah,
I
Long
okay.
see.
distance.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because like
Yeah, I
for
think I can
most,
relate to that well. Yeah, because
really?
when I was I think in primary school, secondary school, all we did was play soccer.
uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because unlike most like people, I don't know. Like for me, my first chance at anything physical was the gym. Like I never had any like sport background or anything like that. So like I just wanted to know if you had any. Yeah. So you started at 15, am I right?
yeah, bodybuilding, yes. And actually at 15, right, I didn't start conventional bodybuilding.
Okay.
I was like doing resistance training because I was schooling. It's not like I can't just go to the gym anytime I want.
Yeah, yeah.
My parents were
Okay,
strict,
makes
more
sense.
strict back in the day, lah. And
Okay.
when I was in secondary school, right, my schedule was so packed. I got school in the day, then I got supplementary classes in the afternoon, in the evening.
Mhm.
Some days my last class ends at 9 p.m.
9
So
p.m. in secondary school.
there's
Oh.
this SINDA used to have this SINDA tuition.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Oh
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Have you
was I
been to
was
one
part
of
of it.
those? I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I have. I was in
yeah,
SINDA
yeah. I think
for
we've all,
3 years. Yeah.
all gone through that. Yeah.
So
So
you're
and then I'm a
yeah, you said.
Tamil student, right? So my
Mhm.
Tamil classes were also in another school, not in my own school. So
Oh, okay.
like after school, I have to go Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have to go from my school to another school to do the Tamil class. And
Oh,
then
Okay.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have the SINDA class. So like my work schedule is
really? Yeah.
more hectic than a working adult.
Mm.
Damn.
So before I
Pretty
started,
hectic.
right, during my
Yeah, yeah.
recess time, I will go to the pull-up bus. Then I will do like a fixed number of pull-ups every day, like total of 100, total of 150, and so on. So that's how I started. Then I was a science student lah. I was actually in Sec 4. I was in Express. So science, I was very interested in science. So I got books like bodybuilding books. How back then Google and all was not so popular as it is now. So I read books, read bodybuilding books. Then from there I realized that hey, I need to understand nutrition as well. So I read nutrition books. So I was like this 15-year-old going to all the mama shop and looking at all the things like okay, how much protein.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how I started.
I see.
That is so interesting. Yeah.
All right. So just want to touch a little bit on the education part of it. So after secondary school, what did you do?
Okay, so secondary school right now, I was in Sec 4 Express, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of dropped the ball. So I failed maths at O level.
Okay.
I mean, I think I was overwhelmed. There was too many classes, too many hours, no time to unwind. So, I couldn't handle
Just
it at
got
the
to
point.
you. Yeah.
Was it because of like this new lifestyle that you adopted that you place more emphasis on, let's say, bodybuilding?
Oh, no, actually, no. Towards that time, I didn't even, I was doing my recess time pull ups or dips. That's about it.
I see, I
Then,
see.
in PE class, I was my chance to go and run and all that. Otherwise, no, it didn't interrupt my studies.
Correct.
I would say studies interrupted my studies. How many hours only you can sit down for a book
Yeah,
every day?
that's true. That's true.
Uh,
Correct. Understand.
so I failed maths, so they didn't want to take me to any poly, so I went for higher NITEC. And that's where my life changed because in IT Dover, that's where they discovered that I could be a competitive bodybuilder. So they asked me to attend school for the first contest. If that never happened, right, I might have never competed. Might have
Sorry,
never
sir.
happened.
Was this the inter ITE bodybuilding competition? Was that
No,
it?
actually my first show was Muscle War.
Muscle War. Okay. All right.
So by FM?
No, back in the day, right, it was done by NUS. Okay, you see, back in those days, right, bodybuilding was under the government. So,
Oh,
Okay.
bodybuilding was literally like under sports SSC. Was not as SSC back then. Now it's known as Sports Singapore.
Mm.
So there is a Singapore Bodybuilders Federation has an NSA under SSC. So this federation will oversee all the contests in Singapore. And Muscle War was done by NUS. So that means even all those muscle wars for tertiary students, right? They also have urine tests at the time. because government can pay for it.
I see.
So all was tested back in the day.
Interesting.
Right. So
Yeah, that's
going back to
it.
your education,
Uh-huh.
so you were in IT. What were you studying?
I was in electronics engineering.
I see. Did you like it?
Not really.
Okay.
I was more of a science guy. So
Yeah.
engineering was
So what
Were you
made you
given the
choose?
option to? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So why did you choose electrical engineering then?
honestly, I didn't choose it. I wanted to do IT, but my dad said he did electronics engineering before, so he kind of insisted that I should go for that. And
Okay.
I just failed my maths, right? So I got no say lah, so I just go.
No, yeah, I
Understood.
understand. Yeah. So what did you do? What did you do after you graduated from Higher Tech?
Okay, so what happened was when I graduated from ITech, I was 19 years old. But then they supposed to go for my NS lah, and they said I cannot defer. So my dad was thinking, oh, I only have high NITEC, it's not enough. Then the Navy sent this letter to my house one day saying that, oh, okay, you might, we can sponsor your studies and stuff like that. So my dad said, okay, you join this one. Okay, you go for diploma. Then it was. So I thought, okay, I'll just take it up. But in the end, their advertising is not, as beautiful as it sounds. So to cut a long story short, I ended up joining Navy as a regular and without any type of education sponsorship. So I just joined and started working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was a regular for 10 years. And during my 10 years, right, I saved my own money and I did a diploma in sports science.
Where did you do this diploma?
Diploma is done in PSB Academy.
Nice. I just graduated from there.
He's doing the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So since you're talking about your SCF career, right? So you were in there for 10 years, am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So during these 10 years, how did the experience has the experience in those 10 years aided or hurt your career as a bodybuilder?
Okay, I will say, right, it's not ideal to be a combat bodybuilder. But, I just tried to make it work. So, I still competed and I still won a bunch of shows during my 10 years.
Oh, okay.
What were the aspects of the job itself, like in terms of like, because you say it's not ideal, right? So what were the aspects involved that made it so hard to actually compete as a bodybuilder?
One of the things was the long hours. Because, we don't talk about BMT and the trainee, being a trainee, those phase, that one you stay in camp, Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday. Then Saturday, Sunday also you'll have duty. But when I came out to a unit, right, initially I was on board ship. On board ship is very, very busy. You have, 5 days a week work is normal. Then almost every week you have 2 or 3 duties. Then, you might go for sleeping 3 days, 5 days. So you are not around all the time. Then, on the days you are off, you are just way too tired to work out. So for me, I would still work out anyway, but, there was a point in time I could not compete anymore. I think 2008 and 9, around that time. I still competed, but my physique looked terrible.
So sorry, you're saying?
Yeah, I just, for some reason, I still trained and I still tried to diet and go and compete, but it didn't look as good as subsequent years.
Okay.
So there's dedication right there.
So how was the nutrition then? How did you manage to fit in your food and hit your macros, considering that like you said, it wasn't ideal? So how did you do it?
Okay, so the first half of my career, I was on board ship. So that time I had to let go certain things. I back then I wasn't like now. Now I eat clean all year round. Back then I would just be normal until towards the contest. So I just kept my protein intake high. Every day I meet my 1 gram per pound body weight.
Okay.
And I wasn't so big back then. My off season weight is like 70 plus 80. So my protein intake is not that hard to
Not that hard to acquire, yeah.
3 shakes a day of high protein breakfast and you're good.
Yeah.
In 2009, I was posted to MINDEF, so no longer on board ship. So that's when I picked up again and I started competing and winning my shoes.
Okay.
My shore unit wasn't exactly 8 to 5 either. So my shore unit was duty 3 to 4 times a week, 24-hour shifts.
24-hour shifts?
24-hour shifts. It was good actually. I really liked being in that unit because we were really a family there. Everyone take care of everyone. So like, let's say I want to compete, right? I speak to my colleagues who are doing the duty with me. They will just swap. So I got like 5 to 6 days of off. I can go and compete and come back.
I see.
Due
Okay.
to like
They
the
were
source.
very understanding.
Uh, so that is where so since I'm on duty, right, I could prep my food and bring it to work. Then I just eat whatever I prep. Then the problem was rest lah. Cause you work 24 hours. Let's say Monday I work 24 hours. So what I'll do, I'll leave work around Tuesday maybe 12 p.m. I'll go home, prep my meals and all that. Then I'll go to the gym. So most of my trainings were done without sleep. Then I'll only sleep that night. That means if I go home on Tuesday, I'll only sleep on Tuesday night. Then more often than not, Wednesday will be my next duty. If not, if I'm lucky, the shift was good, then the next will be Thursday lah. So was like that.
Wow. Because I think like not a lot of people, like a lot of people probably just know that you have been in the SA for 10 years, but I don't think everyone understands like, to what severity has this caused, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's also nice to, understand your exact point of view of how the life in there was actually like. So since you're out now and you say that you're eating clean year round, am I right?
I've been doing that since 2015. I was
Oh,
still in
okay.
service back then.
All right. Okay. So I actually have one question, lah. So it's quite. This is a personal question. I actually want to know. I watch your stories, so I kind of wonder why is your chicken breast unflavored?
Uh,
Is
okay
it a
lah.
preference?
I do flavor it a bit.
Okay.
Towards my contests, I will stop flavoring them.
Okay.
Okay, because here's the thing, it's not so much as the macros itself, but it's psychological. When you're eating that kind of food, right, you get reminded that, okay, I'm prepping for a show. So, it helps you to keep that mentality and that mindset in place. Like every meal is a reminder, okay, I'm working hard for this. Uh, but actually now, I don't flavor my food that much, but I do flavor it a little bit. I use a bit of salt, a bit of garlic powder, a bit of onion powder.
No,
Or sometimes
because
I just
yeah, no, because I see like a lot of most bodybuilders, what they do is they obviously have the chicken and rice or like fish and rice and whatever, and then they have like is there a 0 calorie sauce, like a low calorie sauce, something to top it up with just for for the sake of some flavor. But like I see you eat the same brown rice, is that correct? Brown rice and the chicken breast, and it's like there's no sauce and there's no like this. It's like white, So I kind of wondering how do you do that like year round? Considering that sometimes you're in your off season and you're doing that. So you say it's psychological, but it's pretty interesting because if I or if any of Dinesh, maybe during contest prep is when we'll actually use the sauce to kind of help us psychologically to like go like make the food go down, stuff like that. So
It's true, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing. To me, right, I look at food as if you eat something very tasty, you enjoy it for 15 minutes
Okay.
for the duration of your meal. But if you eat something correct, you don't enjoy the eating process, but you enjoy 24 hours a day looking good. So that's the exchange for me. So I think, 15 minutes of enjoyment for a few times a day, like, I don't mind exchanging that for 24 hours of looking good.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Also, this thing actually keeps my body very, very optimal because I don't put in unnecessary things for my body to process.
Okay.
So my digestive system is like not taxed. I only have to eat such a big volume of food, right? So
Yeah.
by doing that, my immune system has been very strong. So like I hardly fall sick. But like there have been like few years straight I don't fall sick at all. The last time I remember was I think 2018. And before 2018 was like several years and didn't fall sick also.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so it's actually very good for the body.
So it gives us a whole new perspective.
Yeah, so basically you keep the
Yeah.
food simple and you keep it consistent so the body understands that you're not putting unnecessary junk into it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, of
Okay.
course, I do have my junk meals. Maybe
Yeah,
2 3 days once. Sometimes here and there every day. But it comes to a point where your body starts to refuse to not accept junk food. But you're eating so
Correct.
clean. Suddenly you have like a McSpicy, your body just cannot.
Yeah.
Your body is shocked.
yeah.
We were talking about this the other day where like we have our cheat meal, like for example, like once one or twice a month, and then we start vomiting.
Okay, I mean, not for me it wasn't like vomiting or anything, but like it's like usually like after a show, after like a long like a cut phase, you just don't eat any like junk food, and suddenly you eat it. You're no longer eating it because you want it. You're just eating it for the sake of it, something like that. And then
Yeah.
you just don't
Then
feel
you
good.
you you start missing the prep food.
Uh,
Like, why am
no,
I
I,
not eating?
I used to do stuff like that in my earlier days. After my contest, right, I will eat junk food like crazy, like 2 times a day McDonald's, me going out, all this. Then can gain like 10, 20 kg even within like 1 or 2 weeks.
It's a rebound
But
weight,
then,
right?
uh,
Yeah.
but I realized that if you reverse diet after a show, you can actually hold on to your contest condition for several months.
Oh, really?
Because it
Yeah.
actually takes time for your body to regain body fat.
Mm.
So
I see.
like let's say 2016 I tried this lah. After 2016 I won my first Mr. Singapore.
Okay.
So after that, right, I reversed diet, and then I was actually almost like in contest shape for like 6 months. There's like junk food here and there and all that, but that's how good it was. That means like I can just dehydrate and then compete in a week, in any given week during that period.
That's interesting.
So
I'll
I
be
think
right back in 1 minute. I'll just help my mom out.
Oh, sure. All right, sir. So you said that you won your first Mrs. Singapore in 2016, am I right?
yes.
Okay. That was in bodybuilding, like open bodybuilding, right?
Uh,
Okay. So are you now a classic competitor, or are you still in open bodybuilding?
okay, the past few years after that, I've been doing classic, but
Okay.
there's a reason. Because like 2017, right, they had these Asian championships. FM League had, that big Asian championship with cash prize and all.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually wanted to do both
I
because I
see.
thought that classic visit, I have a very good chance of winning the Asian category.
Mm.
But then they told me, okay, you either can go for men's open or you only can go for classic. You cannot do both. Then I
But
thought, okay, then I'll go classic also.
but what was the reason? Why couldn't you do both?
Uh, their rules are. I
Their
think
rules,
maybe
okay.
there were too many competitors
I see.
because the first prize was 10K USD for men's open. So all these giants came from I don't know where.
Okay.
So even my classic physique cat was very very competitive. But
Oh,
it was a good decision. I won that. My cash prize I got for that was 4K USD.
that's great. That's great.
So I mean, it was a good decision. Lucky I went to classic that year.
So,
So
sorry, as of now, you are still a classic physique competitor. Am I right?
uh, I might or might not be.
Okay.
I mean, think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If maybe within Singapore, I might consider going back to open, and then maybe for my pro IFBB contests and stuff, then I can do classic.
Yeah, that makes sense. But which one do you like more?
I think men's open lah.
Men's open?
I mean,
Okay.
you get so shredded, you can see your glutes and all. Then in
Yeah.
classic, I have to cover with your trunk. But men's open, you can show it.
I see.
So, how many more Mr. Singapore titles do you go on to win after 2016?
Yeah, after 16, right, the next 2 years I was in classic, so I was Mr. Singapore classic.
Yes. Okay.
So the men's open Mr. Singapore, I only won it once. And Mr. Singapore classic twice.
Mm.
No, but 2018, right, I actually had a reason for going to classic again. Because what happened, right, was 2017, right, at the end of my show, I realized that there was something wrong with my body.
What happened?
My right shoulder, at that point in time, I didn't know what happened, but I realized that, I cannot bench press anymore. I cannot bench press, cannot shoulder press, I cannot do most type of presses. And then my left or my right tricep, right, like, it became like much weaker. I lost like 75% of strength. Then I also started to have atrophy on that tricep.
Just on one side.
Yeah, correct. So I lost like 1.5 inches off my arm, mostly from my tricep. Yeah, so because of that, right, I couldn't do so many exercises. So my upper body started to shrink. So 2018, by the time I went for my show, right, I wasn't in my best. Then I thought, okay lah, I rather do classic. I might not even be competitive in men's open. So I did a classic. Then the pro qualifier, IFBB one, was 1 week later. I also did that. And I don't know, somehow I won both.
You
Except
did
that
this all with one
With
side
an
of your
injury.
arm with an injury. Wow. So,
So,
what was the cause of this? What was the
Okay.
cause of this?
So 2018, then I met my physio. Then she's the one who fixed me. So basically what she said was that it's just a bunch of tight muscles doing a tug of war each other. So it's complicated lah. This type of injury, right? Is okay. Basically, my lower tract was not firing during exercises. So my, not the superficial muscles, but the ones underneath, like the infraspinatus, supraspinatus, subscapular, all these started to become tight. So it prevent my, basically it kind of prevent my certain muscles from working. So my chest, it was one of those lah. My chest and my anterior delts. So that's why I cannot press, because when I'm pressing, those muscles behind are pulling against that joint, not allowing me to complete the movement. So because those muscles were tight, the pec minor also became tight to super compensate once we are not behind. So basically it's like two muscles doing a tug of war with the joint in the middle. That's why I cannot do certain movement. But my sibling in one session. So I did her one session, she identified problems, she did try needling certain areas. The next day I went to the gym, I can bench press again, just like that.
Wow. Is this type of injury common, like did she mention?
Yeah, I noticed a lot of my clients have varying degrees of this. I think one of the reasons is also because we tend to sleep on one side, right?
Yeah,
correct.
Sleep on one side. Normally, if you're a right-hander, you sleep on the right arm. So what happens is you look at our proportions, like our shoulders are so big, our legs are so big, then our waist is so small. So when we sleep on one side, right, it puts like a lot of pressure into certain areas of the joint. Then it leads to a bit of tightness here and there. Then when you train, it becomes tighter, and then downward spiral from there.
Yeah.
And also lifting technique lah. I mean,
yeah,
see, right? 80% of everyone at the gym are bench pressing the wrong way.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, these days, powerlifting has become like the in thing.
I understand. Nobody goes, nobody really focuses on the mind function. It's all about heavyweights now.
Yeah.
Correct. The people who are doing it, they are not powerlifters. They are just doing it because they want to move heavyweight.
Yes.
Then they will come over and say, "Oh, I'm doing a 4x5, 5x4. You are doing so few reps. How are you going to gain muscle?"
Yeah.
Right? You see how I will approach a bench press, right? I rack the bar, then I will actually let the weight, as I lower the weight, right? I'm not lowering the weight with my arms, I'm lowering the weight with my pecs. So I'm feeling my pecs stretch as the weight goes down. Then I'm feeling my pecs pull my arms together as I press up the weight. See, that's bodybuilding form. That's how you activate the pecs to do the most amount of work. But nowadays I see these guys, they are dropping it down onto their, in fact, not even their chest, they are lowering the bar to their upper abs. And then they are, doing lift their lower back off the bench, then use their legs and kick the weight up. Bench press the chest.
Leg drive.
It's more of a leg drive, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's pretty common as well.
Yeah, so do like 2 reps, they'll bang the weight down, then they'll stand like, wow, they achieve something really big like that.
No, but that's true though.
I feel like Danie has someone in mind.
Yeah.
Someone specific in mind. I mean, that's what I see all the time.
But that's what you see, yeah.
I mean, you look at the way the bodybuilders with big muscles train, it's very different. We lower the bar slowly, we touch the upper chest. There's an element of mindfulness involved in the way we train.
Definitely.
Because bodybuilding is all about doing exercise in the hardest possible way.
That's true, yeah. But speaking about
Time and
shows,
attention and
So,
you were a judge, right? For a while?
Yeah.
For how many years?
Sorry?
For how many years were you a judge?
No, I mean, ever since I won the Mr. Singapore, right, they've been inviting me back as a judge for all the muscle wars and all that.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that's something very good that FM has done. They get actual bodybuilders to judge.
Yeah.
And then they also have 2 normal guys as in a neutral party. I've seen shows in my day where there's a group of 5 old men who have nothing to do with bodybuilding. They are I don't know, a coffee shop seller or something. Then they're don't make sense to me.
So back then it was just random people, or were they involved in the whole bodybuilding thing?
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't say they are totally random. They are involved in sports in certain extent, or maybe they are some type of VIP, maybe.
Yeah, some up there. Yeah.
Okay.
But and FL actually sent us for courses. They are okay, this is how you judge. So we actually they're all aligned. Then we go and judge.
So is this
I
course
was
yearly?
just about to ask about that.
Yeah. Is this course yearly? every time before you judge, you have to take the course, or is it like one time you take it and then it's for life?
So far, I've done it, I think, 3 times. So I think, yeah, it's about yearly. And I mean, whenever they do it for, let's say there's new judges, they want to do it again, they will just invite us also.
It's like a refresher.
Refresher course.
Correct.
Yeah. Because
And
the
the thing
first
is,
time, yeah. So sorry, sir, you're
yeah,
saying?
okay, yeah, they align themselves with the IFBB's standard. So, they will actually take reference from there and then apply to our shoes.
That's nice. Because the first time that I don't know about Dinesh, but the first time that I met you was when you were judging.
Oh,
It was a 2019 physics war. Because that was my first time competing, my one and only time actually. Yeah, so that was the first time that I saw you in person. Yeah,
oh,
it was a pretty funny moment because actually I was competing in physique, the teens
okay.
category. So I had a out of nowhere, just to start, I had an ab cramp. Like my abs were
Okay.
cramping, and then for some reason I was standing right in front of you, like in your position. And then I don't know if you remember this. I mean, you probably won't, but you kind of gave me that smirk, like you kind of knew what was happening. So I thought that
Oh,
that was a pretty funny moment. Yeah, so that was my first encounter with you, lah. Yeah, so ever since then, like I've been following your Instagram and stuff like that, and here we are now, I guess.
okay.
Yeah.
Wah,
Nice.
the app cram is that one sometimes there's really no way around it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's either you want to look in their condition or you don't want to cram. One or the other.
yeah. That's true. Plus, it was first time, like I was really like nervous. You know what I mean? Like first time in front of so many people, like half naked. It's a bit, it's a bit, yeah. So okay, speaking about experiences, so how was your first time competing? What was your experience like?
Okay, my first time was Muscle War 2004.
Okay.
It's like donkey years back.
How old were you
Yeah,
then?
Was there like a open or was there like a physique?
tertiary lah. No, back then there's no men's physique or classic. You are either
Only
an
open,
open
is
Classic,
it?
guy
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. I mean, classic definitely not, but
Yeah.
man, physique also
no
no.
men's physique. So it's just bodybuilding only.
Just
So my
bodybuilding.
my first show was okay, because my school just introduced me to it, right? So I didn't know how to prepare for it. Then my seniors in my school, they actually competed and did quite well in the junior ranks lah. So they told me, okay, just eat chicken breast only, nothing else. So I just sort of followed their advice lah, because they're the ones with experience lah. So
Correct, correct.
actually I did go through that process, like yeah, my body fat went down and I got leaner, but I knew that it wasn't right lah. Because I could have looked much better on stage. So after that, then I went to study this, because previously I studied just like very basic macros, like how to get protein. Like now I was like, okay, how do I do a contest prep?
Okay.
So the following year onwards, then every year I named my condition.
Right, sir.
Because
So
I
I'm so sorry to cut off short. We'll take a 5-minute break and get back to this. Is that right?
okay, sure, no
Right.
problem.
Okay. See you guys. Right, sir. So we are talking about your experience, your first time bodybuilding.
Yes, okay. So yeah, so back in the day, right, the protocol they use is just cut sodium, just cut carbs, have only protein, and no protein shakes. Only has to be chicken breast. That it was much
standardized.
more of a bro science approach than
Yeah,
a scientific
definitely.
approach.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing I went to research and find a better way to prepare for show. Then I realized, okay, now I can do so much better with the correct diet.
And during your first ever competition, right? Did you have any coach or did you do it all by yourself?
Not really a coach lah. It was just more like bro science tips from my seniors in IT. That was it. But from the day I started till that point of time, I was just training by myself lah.
Okay. Was there any like for your first show, right? Was there any like peak week protocol, like the bro science version of it?
Yeah, you just start eating sweet potatoes one day before the show. Something like that.
I see. Yeah. So progressively as you went along with different shows, did you eventually get a coach? Were you working with anyone at any point of time during your career? Or was
Okay, is
this
it?
all you?
Okay, I told you that back then it was under government, right? SNC, right? So after my 2004 contest, I didn't place the top 10, but the SBBF, Singapore Bodybuilders Federation, they invited me to train at their gym
Okay.
and train with one of their coaches lah. So I joined, I went there. So I was training under this guy called Mr. James Murthy. So he competed in like the 80s.
I see.
So okay lah, his nutrition knowledge wasn't there. Back in the day, this was not common knowledge. But his training science was very, very good. So like the moment I start training with him, I saw vast improvements, especially my back. Then the nutrition part, I continued to do it on my own lah. So
Okay.
I think I got to train with him probably like maybe 2 years.
For 2 years, you were
So
training
like
under him.
2
Yeah.
years. So
So
did you see the difference between like sorry, I mean
Yeah, sure,
so
no
did you
worries.
see the difference between like not having like a coach and then having a coach, training with him for 2 years? What were the differences like?
The things I learned from him were priceless. I would say like if I never met him, I wouldn't have went to the next level.
I see.
It's always good to have a coach and someone who's one level ahead of you.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
even now, I'd like to get a proper an IFBB coach.
Hmm.
If let's say I want to take it to the next level, compete in the Pro Leagues, I might really need to engage a coach to see what's it I have not discovered yet.
So for your Mr. Singapore, the shows that the Mr. Singapore titles that you won, were you being coached?
No.
So it was all by yourself.
So I learned the old school way of training from Mr. James Lee. And then along the way, Singapore Bodybuilding Federation closed down. They no longer had a gym. Government don't want to sponsor bodybuilding anymore. So after 2-3 years, right, we were sort of on our own again. So from that point onwards, all my nutrition, all my training, all I learned it myself.
See. Just gonna sidetrack a little bit. Actually, I'm just curious. Why did the government drop bodybuilding? Was it because of the anti-doping policy or something like that?
Okay, the anti-doping policy had something to do with it, but that was just the cover lah. That was the scapegoat. So I think they just didn't want to have bodybuilding in Singapore lah.
What was the
I
reason?
mean, we used to have a group of 5 full-time bodybuilders, and they were winning a lot of gold medals. SEA Games, Asian Games, they were always the ones winning. The reason I don't know. I think the person who was running Singapore Bodybuilding Federation was also wasn't doing the way he ran it was like a dictatorship, and I feel like he mismanaged the funds. Because at that point of time we had a gym, right? Where Red Hill MRT is, there's this Delta Sports Complex.
Oh, that is a legend. That was where I first started training.
Okay, so Delta Gym, right? There's the Active SC Gym, right? There used to be another gym there. There's a swimming pool. There's a metal shutter door. So if you open a metal shutter door to enter, that's the SPPF gym. So we always open, we close it after we enter. That's where we train.
I see.
That was the Singapore Bodybuilding Federation gym. And then all the new equipment that were available to at that point of time. So you won't be able to get a lying hamstring curl or heavy dumbbells anywhere else but this
But
gym.
there, I see.
So and subsequently, right, the person running the show decided to move the gym from there to this place called Alpha Center. Alpha Center is somewhere it is, it's near Little India MRT.
Okay.
There's this big building with 2 stone lions at the outside. You guys might have seen it. So he moved the gym there. It was actually much more expensive. So all the funds that government's paying to them, went for these type of things, unnecessary expenses. So eventually, I think due to the mismanagement of funds and debts or loans or something like that, that was one of the reasons they closed.
Do you think that if the government still recognized bodybuilding in Singapore, bodybuilding would have become a much more bigger thing locally?
If the government recognized, yes, definitely. If the funding was there, yes. But the right people needed to run the show. I think if let's say Mr. Kevin Chuck, right, our FA president, if let's say he was running the show, I think it would have went on to the next level.
Correct.
So it's unfortunate lah. The wrong people were running it.
Yeah.
They had the funds to do all these shows, and the kind of venues they got for the show and all are terrible. I even did one Indian nationals, right? Sentosa. There was they just there's one of the shelters. They just set up a stage there. The contest was there, and there was one more, a Pesta Sukan. Imagine 4 countries coming down: Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia.
Okay.
The show was literally held in a tentage along the beach.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so you just imagine bodybuilding shows being run like that. No, I mean, they have the funds from the government. They can book a proper
Yeah,
auditorium.
yeah, yeah.
Precisely, yeah.
Well, that makes me think like the venues now are so much better, huh? Compared to last
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
definitely.
venues for shows now. Yeah.
these days you have all this, all every show is done in a proper auditorium. Or if not, it's expo lah. You know, they book the big room and they campur everything, got powerlifting behind and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Like an actual expo, right? Like a fitness expo and the
Expo,
same
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Is that one I don't really like the way that was done, but you know, it's still leaps and bounds ahead of what used to be organized by
Definitely.
SBBF.
Yeah, speaking about scapegoats, we're gonna jump into something a little bit more current. Okay.
Okay.
So with the gyms closing, like over and over again, this is like the third time, right? The third time the gyms
Uh,
are closing. Do you think that the fitness industry is sort of like a scapegoat?
yeah, I would say that. I mean, you think about it, right? If you go to a, let's say, a massage parlor or something, right, you might still go when you're sick. But if
Yep,
you go to a gym, right, you will not go when you're sick. The gym has its own layer of protection in that sense.
that's true.
So there's that, and then there's the other level where you know the people in the gym. It's always the same group of people. It's not you rarely have someone new coming in. So like you know, even if a cluster was to form, right, it would be much easier to manage.
Yeah, because it's the same group of people coming in day in, out.
Right. And the
Yeah,
people who exercise, they tend to be much stronger and with much better immune systems. They will not become so ill as compared to someone who is completely sedentary. So like I think targeting the gyms for closure all the time is not really the best idea.
Because every time there's a sort of like a heightened alert and whatnot, the gyms are the first to go, if you realize.
yeah,
I mean
And
like no, I can just imagine the
similarly,
people sitting there, you know, like, hey what cluster, hey close the gym. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
expect.
exactly. Yeah, no, that's what we're thinking too. Because like, honestly, for a lot of us, I guess like for I mean I can only vouch and say on behalf of the people I know, but for most of us it's mostly like therapeutic. Like training is a sense of like a sense of relief, gives us a sense of freedom. So like when you kind of take that away, it kind of puts us like it makes us feel lost in that sense. And also for those people who train like professionally or amateur wanting to go professional or people who make money solely from personal training, people who are freelance, they are very affected by this, and it's so sudden, like a 4 days 5 days notice and then the closing it. So what do you think about that? Do you think that this is something like fair? Is this like justified, these actions?
Yeah, I feel like the government dropped the ball by constantly importing people from high risk countries. They are very, very lenient with immigration. If not, how do these people end up here? And then when something goes wrong, they want to show the general public that, hey, look, I'm doing something. So they close something that seems high risk to the general public. So gym lah, close area, you don't wear mask. So they okay, I'll just tell them that I'm closing the gym so that they'll think I'm doing something.
Do people
But
actually think that the gyms are high risk place?
yeah, I mean, to be fair, yes, we remove our mask, we work out. But then again, I don't think so. Because
because yeah,
if you think about it, the most recent lockdown, right? They closed I think one lockdown ago, gym lockdown. They closed all the gyms, but they said, okay, martial arts can continue. So, what is the logic behind that? It's like,
That is
okay, you
absolutely
cannot
right.
share barbells, but you can hold each other. You know?
Yeah,
like martial arts, there's like physical contact involved and whatnot.
There's
And like in
physical
the gyms,
contact,
especially
exactly.
yeah, the ones that I go to, right? The gyms, they have like all those sanitization
yeah.
equipment
At every station, every equipment, there's the
every
cloth
machine,
and
every station.
the sanitization liquid. So I feel like there have been measures. No, the measures are being taken to kind of prevent. I mean, the gyms are no more 24. I mean, I only can say for Anytime Fitness, some outlets, especially CC outlets, are not 24 hours anymore. Which means every time a member goes in, we have to, ensure that we use a safe entry, ensure that we have our towels, and all that mandatory stuff. So I still feel that more measures can be taken, but it's not necessary to direct, like just straight away close the gym every
Close down.
single time.
Yeah,
The cases go up. And also another thing is that this whole outdoor thing, how does it work? If I bring the equipment outdoor, suddenly it's not a gym anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I just don't understand that. Like whatever I have, like for example, I have like a rowing machine and like some cables and stuff, and I bring it all outside, or like a squat rack and everything. So it's no longer a gym. Like people aren't sharing. So how does that work?
And that's why there's no any sense at all. I think even if you came up with a rule such that you need to sanitize equipment if you are sharing between sex. Means guy A use sanitize, guy B use sanitize. I think that's still reasonable, but
Yeah,
by just bringing the equipment outside, I don't think that makes a difference.
yeah, it doesn't change anything, right?
But you see,
Um,
from a strategic point of view, right, it's a bad idea to close the gyms. Because you see, there's already one group of people who use the fitness corners. They go for their runs, they do their training there.
yeah,
So by closing the gym, the people at the gym will most likely also go to the fitness
fitness
corner.
corners, yeah,
So
that's true.
basically, the effect of closing the gyms is to move a big number of people into the same space, being the fitness corner. So you're increasing the likelihood of a spread. So
Right.
you don't make sense to close the gym.
The thing is, if let's say someone who uses the fitness corner has COVID and then they want to trace, right? How are they going to trace?
How are they
the
going to
fitness
trace?
corner?
There's no safe entry or anything near the fitness corner, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
There is, and then there's also the element of you go to the fitness corner, how many people got sanitized? Nobody
No
will do
one,
that.
no
What?
one's sanitizing
Sanitize the
anything.
pull-up.
Yeah.
So they're closing the wrong thing. Maybe they should close outdoor fitness corners and not the gym. The gym you can so easily trace back.
True.
Right.
That's very true.
If you advise people, if you're sick, not to go. If you sick, you still go, then there'll be consequences. I don't know why you go to the gym when you're sick, you have a fine or something.
Definitely. But speaking of which, how are you liking your home setup, sir?
Oh, okay, I guess you guys know, I invested in a bunch of equipment at my home.
Mhm.
If you see, my equipment is not really heavy duty. It's those kind where you can just keep it into one corner. In fact, I am at the home gym now. I can show you guys if you want to see.
Yeah, sure, it'll
Well,
be
why
great.
not? Yeah, why
Yeah.
not? There's light and weight, right?
Uh, light and weight. The 50 kg dumbbell. So basically, this all my plates are.
Okay.
So there's 25s, there's 20s, there's 10s.
Mhm.
Then my Olympic bar. Then
Alright.
easy bar, normal bar all have. Then I have this. There's light and weight behind the bench.
Yeah.
Then there's
Nice.
the both flex 40 kg. Then I actually have two benches now. So you see that bench right there, I have this bench as well. This one is for my leg extensions and all that. And then there's
Okay.
my bar behind there, my squat cage. So basically, when I did all this stuff, I was trying to minimize the space and maximize the usage.
So this is one whole room, like this is where you train? Or do you, I mean, I know you bring it out sometimes, but so this one whole room is basically like your gym room. Is that it?
Yeah,
That's
mostly
nice.
at trainer, but
Yeah.
like let's say my TRX, right, I have to hang it outside because my bomb shelter, the ventilation, so I hang it on that. That's very strong. Or if I'm using my pulley to do tricep push downs or what, I'll also have to hang it there.
Yeah, that
Otherwise,
makes sense.
most other things I can do here.
Yeah, that's true. But it's nice that you have something to at least work with when the gyms are closing and stuff. But I feel it's great because like a lot of people, especially like people who go to the gym, when the gym closed, the first thing they do is like like let go of everything, let go of the diet, they let go of the training, they just like completely neglect everything. I mean, not everybody may have the space, but there are there's so many things that you can do, like get resistance bands, bodyweight workouts,
Yeah.
so many things you can do, right? So I feel like what you have here is kind of like an example of like what you can actually do if you really set your mind towards it. You can definitely do, right?
Like
Yeah.
usually most of my room is empty. It's not
Yeah, it's not like
one
congested.
squat, one dinosaur there.
Yeah.
So but you see I have two benches, right? So when I set up my squat stand, my bench becomes my safety catch. So
Oh,
if
okay.
I cannot come up, I just rest it on the bench. Because the whole flooring cannot break.
All right, okay. So basically, when you're squatting, your benches are your safety bar, lah, in that
Yeah,
sense.
but that's why I
Okay,
have
okay.
two benches.
Yeah, that's
Then
pretty.
I have to ask this question. Has
Sure,
any
man.
of your neighbors come knocking on your door?
I know, I've been very careful. I
Okay,
mean,
nice.
when I relax and unrack from my squat cage, it's not noisy. At most, the only thing is maybe when I put down my 50 kg dumbbells, that might make a bit of sound, but I always put it on my rubber mat. So I think they
Yeah,
won't
because
even know.
you have the pads right on the floor.
I got the mat. I got 2 max lah. But
Okay.
then I don't really use it for my deadlift either because I normally lower the bar very slowly. I
I
normally
mean,
just
that's
step.
fair. Yeah. I mean, also don't want to risk the tile accidentally breaking or something, right?
But it's
Yeah.
not that like even at the gym I also lower the bar very slow. Because it comes back to that concept where you are training to build muscle, you have to train the hardest way possible. So if you're
Right.
deadlifting, you don't drop the bar, you lower the bar, tap the
Slowly.
floor.
Yeah.
That
Because
increases the
every portion is where your muscle growth gets activated. So all these guys banging down the bar over and over, you're essentially portions where your muscles get activated, so you are not activating any muscle.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, I mean, like, so basically, when we post this, a lot of people are gonna, like, people our age, like, who are like who are maybe like already into this, or maybe they want to get into bodybuilding or just want to get healthy and stuff. What's one advice that you can give for us? Like people our age who are getting into bodybuilding or who are already in it, trying to move on to the next level. What's like one piece of advice
aspiring
that you know
competitors
that
and
we
whatnot.
that you think would be most beneficial for us?
Okay, if you ask me, I will say nowadays right, our youngsters don't have patience. They want to come into the gym straight away, train heavy, train straight away, get strong. So I think they got to think that okay, you're not to really have a nice physique, you need to give it some time. So you start with the light weights, get your form right, don't slam the weights, lower your weight slowly. So training wise will be that. And then you have to get your nutrition right at some point. You have to at least be like 60% on a good diet. If not, your body's not going to respond. A lot of these guys, they don't follow that type of nutrition plan. Drinking one shake after a workout is not enough. You have to, minimum, you guys know lah, macros. You have to hit minimum amount of macros every day. If not, it's just not enough for your muscles to grow.
Definitely. Yeah.
And
Versus.
there's,
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
there's a
Sir.
lot of young guys. Sorry?
No, you were saying? Yeah.
Yeah, some of these young guys, they coming to the gym not even 1 year. They already bought steroids and started using. And some of these guys have approached me and like, hey bro, I'm on this and this. What else are you on? Like that's so stupid.
People actually do that. They come up to you and they ask you that.
Yeah, you are like, and they are
But
using actually, strong things. They are like using test, strength, EQ, like, three things they are stacking, and they look normal. Like they don't even go to gym that kind.
That's the worst comment you can get.
that's the yeah.
That's like the worst comment you can get. Like using PEDs and then looking normal. No, but I
Yeah.
cannot believe that they actually come up to you and they ask you like, what are you using, and or like, I mean, like that's not normal. Do people do that? I don't know.
Yeah, precisely.
It happened several times lah.
Oh,
It happened several times. Okay, on my end, I have to make a disclaimer now lah. You see, if let's say I want to say right now, I tell you guys I used before. Then there'll be one group who shows up just to discredit my entire life's work. They're
definitely.
going to pretend like there's no such thing as training and nutrition. I just used something and I became muscular. And if I say I don't take, another group's going to come like, hey, you are lying. So I don't want to go down that path lah.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to, yeah, I just going to say that first.
No, no, definitely. I mean, I understood. It's. I mean, I also don't personally. I don't believe that anyone should be discredited. Like anyone's hard work
Right, right.
and dedication should be discredited just because of PEDs. Like PEDs is such a big part of the sport. Like if you're in the gym and you generally would understand, that bodybuilding requires certain level of dedication, certain level of sacrifice for you to get to where you are. So if people who want to discredit, who want to discredit you, they're probably just not very much aware of how the whole thing actually works. So yeah, in a sense, I understand where you're coming from. It does make sense.
See, there's another element. I think a lot of these people are very resentful because they
Yeah,
came to the gym to work out, then they take PDs, then they are still not muscular. So they see someone like me, they are just angry, like, why that guy can make it, I
How do I
cannot.
see? Yeah,
Uh, I'm going to just tell him, hey, what are you thinking? Just to like feel good about themselves. But you see, the from my time, in the early 2000s and stuff,
yeah,
that our national team athletes who are winning all the shows, they were tested all year round. They were tested several times and then they are tested before, after all their shows. So those guys actually competed at that level naturally. So if you ask me, right, I'm going to say it's possible. It's just that these guys don't know how. You see, I've also competed in tested shows. I have done my preps naturally at that point of time. It means what? No diuretic, no steno, no trend. No, it's really just dieting and so the process is much harder when you do it naturally. Means you need to diet for a longer time, you need
For a
to
longer
cut
time,
your
yeah.
food for a longer duration, and it's very taxing. A lot of people cannot do it. They will just at some point they will just give up, they will just drink up. So there's that element where people don't realize it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, I
It goes
guess
to
that's
show you
like
how much, like, it goes to show you how much nutrition and every single thing you do to achieve that end goal is like so important. Yeah.
So see, I came out from that era, and then of course I make the necessary changes to compete in this era. So, but my approach is still very much like that era. Like if you see some of the guys I've prepped for contest, right? They did not use PDs throughout their whole prep. So and they all need their condition. I think if you see the pictures, you'll know who lah.
Mm.
So they all need the condition with the correct protocol. That means you get it at the correct time, you sodium load at the correct time. So the process works. These people, they never tried it before, and they should not be saying it doesn't work because they never tried it before.
yeah.
Precisely,
Definitely,
precisely.
No, I mean, like this, I feel like this is such like a big thing, that although most people already understand what, like the usage of PEDs are and everything, but there are still, some people who don't understand. And then they, like what you said just now, the element of them being very resentful and stuff like that. But, I guess we cannot satisfy everyone, lah, to a
I
certain
mean,
extent.
if you really break it down to the basics, right? 1 ml of oil is not going to convert to 10 kg of muscle.
100%.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Few kg of food a day over a period of time for it to slowly be processed by our body to be made
Yeah.
to muscle.
Yeah.
So this is one thing that people just don't see. They are just looking at like, oh, you take this, you take that. And you guys know it's very, very common in our gym, in the Singapore gyms these days. Everybody is just, all the young kids, 16, 17 years old, people are just selling them, they're just buying.
Yeah.
And you can see some of them, very obviously, they are taking. Because they are 17, 18, but they look like 25. They aged so much because they started using too early.
Yeah. Speaking of which, since you were talking about food, right? So, did you have any problems like getting your food down, especially during like an off season or anything? Do you have any problems?
course.
Anything?
A lot of problems. Because, my work rate is much, much higher than a normal bodybuilder. Because I'm doing bodybuilding, I'm also doing HIIT, I do cardio, I run often. And I'm also a pro wrestler, so I do pro wrestling training as well.
Mm.
So the calories I expect could be like 4,000. So you gotta eat 4,000 calories of clean food is really a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Are you a big eater, sir?
No, I am not. I was born a pure ectomorph. My natural weight was 27 kg. So everything inside is small.
Mm.
So I get full very fast. So
Yeah.
my only way is to like and upwards of 6 to 10 meals a day sometimes
6
to
to
get
10
everything. Like you see, currently I'm trying to hit 300 grams protein a day. That itself is a huge challenge.
Yeah,
Even
300 grams a day. Do you, is it all from solid food, or do you have like a shakes here and there?
Not possible.
Solid food,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah.
Solid foods, yeah. So you have like how many? Okay, I mean, like so you have a shake before, after, but I know most of your meals are still chicken and rice essentially. Yeah.
Okay, I have my shakes in 3 times a day. I have
Okay.
2 scoops lah. So my one shake will be 40 plus grams of protein.
Okay.
So you have 3 scoops per day, you get about 130.
100. Yeah.
So I still have another 170 from normal food lah.
For number food.
If you about chicken, 500 grams give you 100 grams of protein, right? So what my day will be about there lah. Like maybe 500 grams chicken, then maybe 6 eggs, then plus here, plus there, protein sources.
Do you prepare your food like weekly, or do you like cook it every day?
Okay, I normally cook every day, but lately I have a partnership with Yummy Bros lah. Yummy Bros, so they give me like a special discount every month.
Okay.
So I buy their meals and it's made life easier for me. I can eat like maybe 2 boxes of that a day. That will give me like 80 grams of protein.
Yeah,
Then
solid.
I drink to prep and eat so much of chicken.
Yeah. That's true, because like some people, they prefer to like cook their meals, like as in their chicken, their rice, the vegetables, all in the morning for like the entire day.
Uh,
Versus
uh,
some people like me, prefer to cook it like every 3 to 4 days, especially the protein. Because like the chicken, I usually store it in the fridge. Um, so whenever I need it, I just take out how much I need, I measure it, and then I either microwave it or just reheat it on a pan or something like that and get over and done with. So do you have any preference, or are you okay with anything?
I generally prefer to eat like cook and then eat the same day lah.
Mm.
Because I got used to that when I was in the Navy lah, because they said I'm going for my duty on Monday. So I wake up and prep everything and then I bring to work. I finish everything by next day. I come back home, I prepare a new batch. Because dieting food is already not tasty. So at least by having it fresh, it, at least it doesn't taste as bad as it will one day later. Something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's true.
And my quantities are quite high. I mean, to hit 4,000 calories, right? Just think about how much the volume of food is going to be. So,
Yeah.
how much to keep my fridge? I rather just do it for that day, or sometimes I prepare for 2 days, 3 days, lah.
Yeah.
But not all.
That's interesting. All right. Dinesh, do you have anything else to ask?
Actually, I'm actually interested in the pro wrestling. How did you get into that?
Yeah.
Okay, lah. You see, we are all bodybuilders. We know that there'll always be all these people showing up and telling you that, oh, you're a bodybuilder, you cannot run, you cannot do this, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
They'll try to, because their own insecurities, they can't stand seeing you having a nicer physique than them, so they'll put you down. So I told myself, okay, I'm going to be the bodybuilder who can run, who can sprint, who can do everything.
Like an all-rounder?
So, correct.
Yeah.
So after that point, I've always been like doing running, doing a bit of HIIT. So actually, I'm conditioned in all these things. Then 2016, I just left Navy at free time. Then I thought, okay, let's take up another sport. So I was thinking MMA or boxing or wrestling. Then I was thinking, wrestling appealed to me all my life since I was a kid. Then I got even more interested when I got to know that it's a choreographed show. So I really wanted to learn okay, how do I do those flips, how do I do the stunts, that sort of thing lah. So I joined wrestling, and it has been really a wonderful journey. Learn so many things.
Great, man. Yeah. No, because like I have no idea like the first thing when it comes to wrestling. So like I guess the closest thing I've actually seen to like wrestling is like probably you. So yeah. Because as a kid I never grew up watching like like wrestling and stuff like that. So I always thought like it was like something fiction. You know what I mean? Like it was just like staged. But is it though?
Yeah, I mean the matches are choreographed, but
okay.
You must think about it as a live stunt show. You're doing stunts for the audience.
I grew up thinking that it was all like real in the sense whereby like they really like and then later on as I aged I realized that it was entertainment.
No, but I feel like the perspective that you put it in is very good. It's like a live stunt.
Yeah.
It's okay.
The thing is, it looks real. So it looks crazy real. So you guys, props to you guys for like for being able to actually like do that. Yeah.
So what's your pro wrestling training like, sir?
Okay, in wrestling training, right? The basics are all like rolls. Different kind of rolls: front roll, side roll, back roll. Then we do like headstands, handstands. Then jumping over the ropes, doing flips. So basically, you're learning how to become more agile and control your center of gravity. Because let's say you're getting thrown, right? Normally, in a wrestling match, right, 2 people do the move together. It's never like one person doing a move. So that means if you're throwing someone, right, the other person is jumping a little bit, then they are flipping so that they land correctly and safely. Because what you guys might not know, right, the ring is not like a trampoline. A lot of people think that the ring is a trampoline. Actually, it's
it's not a little bit bouncy?
No, it is bouncy, but it's steel beams with plywood on top.
I see, okay.
You can actually, you land wrongly, you land on your ankle, you can break your ankle. Land your neck. So it's harder than people think. So you have to be very safe. You have to flip, don't land on your head, don't land on your neck. So controlling the center of gravity, flipping correctly, all is very important. Then like imagine you get power bomb, you tilt slightly to your side, you land on one shoulder, you can just dislocate your shoulder. That's
Correct.
how it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, that's true. So how many days in a week do you train, sir? Like pro wrestling.
Okay, when I started, right, I used to go 4 times a week. But once my basics are all about there, then for now I was when it's not closed, I'm going like once a week. But now wrestling is closed as well.
Oh, because of COVID, right?
Uh,
I see. Okay. All right, Tinesh, do you have anything else to ask?
No, sir. Yeah.
Do you have anything to ask us?
Ask what's your anyway? Actually, I was thinking, like, okay, in Singapore, we don't really have a podcast for bodybuilding. I was thinking about it, and then, just shortly after that, you messaged me saying that, hey, we have this podcast, you want to join?
Yeah.
So I actually like spent time watching one of the episode lah. I think the one that Xavier was on.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
was
yeah.
trying to watch as I drive, so that I needed to find time to go and watch it.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Yeah.
I just put one earpiece there, on there, and then drive. Yeah, okay. So the topics you guys spoke about was quite interesting.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Talking about
Yeah.
relationships, right?
Yeah.
Other
Correct,
stuff.
correct.
Because we decided to go. Actually, that episode was pretty long. Mainly because we kind of wanted to give an introductory to the whole thing, and then we talked about relationships, and then it became a very touchy topic because mostly for us these days, a lot of things evolve around the relationship itself. Especially bodybuilding has hindered a lot of relationships. So we kind of wanted to kind of find out from Javier's perspective what it was. So that was actually the whole thing that we wanted to do. So we kind of want to bring in people for every episode, come here and let them speak about how they feel and what actually bodybuilding is. And it's not just bodybuilding; it's mostly for like anything to do with fitness actually. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So we really appreciate like you being here, taking the time,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
actually sharing your opinion about different aspects of bodybuilding. Yeah.
Mhm.
Means a lot
I
to
mean,
us.
what you guys doing is a good cause. So if I want to help you guys out if I can.
Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate it. We're really
We will
grateful for you
we
coming
will
on.
definitely have like another episode with you, definitely for sure.
Yeah,
Talking
definitely.
about
Yeah, I will come, no problem.
Yeah. So that's all the time that we have for today, sir. Once again, thank you so much for taking your time off. Have you trained, sir, today?
Okay, right now I'm still having a hip injury.
Oh, okay.
They,
All right.
like I think a week ago,
Okay.
not by max weight. So I don't know what happened lah. I know my physio saw me, then she told me that I have a bit of hernia as well. So
I see.
I will be doing my whole day later once we are done.
Okay.
But I will not be doing something that loads my hip. So probably I will do like pull-ups and then TRX pull-ups.
I see.
And then after that I will touch up my core because my physio told me I need to work on my core more.
Okay. Yeah.
My physio, like, I mean, you guys would have seen me. I always post about her on my.
Yeah. On
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
stories.
Yeah. And she managed to diagnose and fix the issue, right? Just
Because I have seen there are physios operating under the name of a physio, but they are not physios. They are sports science degree graduates. That means they are not supposed to be working as physio, but they are doing so. So there's a lot, and a lot of people are going to them. I'm just afraid lah. People like us, we want to train. Our health is very important. We get injured. Imagine we go to these people, they take our money,
Then you don't actually get it fixed.
something wrong.
Yeah.
So that's why I always, for that reason, one of the reasons why I always try to promote my physio more. I want more people to see her and then go to her instead, so that at least they get fixed correctly.
True. This is very true. Yeah. Also, sir, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. So hope you have a good session and hope your injury recovers soon. And we also hope to see you back on the channel again here soon. Hopefully, we'll talk a little bit more about food, a little bit more about training and stuff like that. And again, appreciate you
No
taking
problem.
the time, sir. All right. And
Thank you for having me on board. So,
no
see you
worries,
guys.
sir. See you guys. Bye-bye.